Alright, so as requested, I'm going to be doing a kit bash video on some of my customs. Before, I didn't even know what kit bash even meant. I just make aliens. But I'm going to be breaking down what pieces I used and what tools I used to make most of my customs. Now, just keep in mind, this is just like I would say buy them like broken. Don't ever buy them brand new because you're gonna be taking it apart anyways, and it could be a lengthy process. But I'm starting with the Pretorian. This is my custom Pretorian, and let's see how this goes. All right, so first off, I'm gonna break down the pieces that I used. Obviously, the main body type, arms, chest, legs, all that is from the Rhino alien and the head, excluding this piece and this piece. All right, this is from the Romulus Scorched alien, and this is from the Chrysalis. Let's see if there's any. Oh, also the legs. I mean the feet. The feet are from the Chrysalis as well, and the torso is Romulus as well. The hands were from, you can get these hands from any of the, I want to say, Alien Resurrection, the Scorpion alien. Who else has hands like this? I'm sure there's another figure out there, but these are just the hands that I used. Everything's kind of, it's got some mobility, but sometimes I gotta use super glue so it doesn't fall apart. When it comes to the head, I was thinking of gluing it on, but I just chose to keep it like this. I know it's kind of sloppy, but it's because in the midst of it all, it's just gonna be like, I'm just gonna glue this on here, and then it just stuck, like it stays. So I was like, you know what, maybe I'll just keep it like that then. So if I can remove it or place it back on, I kind of like the freedom of being able to do that. And let me see, move over a little bit. Tail, also you can get that from a Resurrection alien. If you really want to, you could use an AVP, but obviously those are hard to come by. I just chose one of the Resurrections because I have so many of those. So I just took them apart. Let's see if he wants to hold it. Stand. Okay, I'm gonna just lie him down. Take bald now. Yeah, I mean it's the paint that something I've been really trying to work on. I want to get as accurate as I can. I know that there's an actual Pretorian in the video game. I think it was Fireteam Elite. Let me take this guy apart actually so he doesn't sit funky. Sit down. But I mean, I try to go by the idea of if it looks cool, just roll with it. Obviously this isn't 100% accurate to like a real Pretorian from like the video games or comics, but I try to get as close as I can and then just work with what I got. On the inside, I added this little piece right there. Now that little, hold on, let me sit him down. This is gonna be real difficult with one hand. This little section was not the original part of the Rhino. I added that from the Chrysalis. I believe it was from like the neck piece. And the problem is that with the Romulus torso, this ball joint is incredibly hard to take out. Really hard. No matter how much I tried to use hot water, it just did not want to come out. So I had to adapt and then just figure it out from there. Mind you, I don't watch tutorials on this stuff. This is just kind of like me going for it and hoping that it works out. But yeah, here. So now, I'm just sit down. These are the tools that I'm using. These are rotary tools. This is a wireless. It's all right. I don't know if I didn't charge it fully last time, but it kind of died really early on me. I did let it charge for I gave it like 3 hours. I'm sure that's more than plenty. But I'm not pimping out any brands or anything. I'm just grabbing whatever rotary tool works. This is the first one that I had. Plug in. Don't really got to worry about, you know, battery running out, obviously, because it's hardwired into the wall. And this is one of the main tips that I use to cut and carve. Now, like I said, I'm no expert at this kit bashing stuff. I know it may seem like it, but I'm not even, you know, I'm barely less than a year into this, I believe. I have lost count already, but I don't know anything about all these tips and all these different pieces that come in, right? This one came in with this one. It just comes in like this. All these tools, all these grinding, smoothing out pieces. Not everything's in there, but for sure, adding this made a world of a difference, because the first custom I ever made, let me tell you, it was not with a rotary tool. I was using a knife, which is horrible. I do not recommend that. Cut myself plenty of times. But yeah, so right now I'm gonna show you the pictures if you don't know which aliens I used or what this originally looked like. So I'm gonna pull it up on my iPad because I'm still learning how to YouTube. So yeah, I'm gonna cut to that right now. All right, so this is the chrysalis alien. You could use those hands if you wanted to, but I figured, you know, these are kind of curved more. Didn't really like that. If you really wanted to, you could go the extra mile and try to like soften them up in hot water, or you could use a blow dryer just to soften the plastic. That way you can straighten them out, but I didn't think about that. Obviously, this is the headpiece, right here. Oh shoot, that's that headpiece. And I didn't keep this front part. It looks like a thumb to me. I didn't want anything to do with that. And obviously the feet. So there are the feet, same feet, right? Just not the tail. For me, I didn't really like the tail, but again, you could use whatever you either have or whatever you're willing to spend on. All right, so this is the Romulus. It comes in a pack with like a bunch of different hands and stuff, but it comes with two different headpieces. There's one with like a scar on it, and then there's one with it's completely smooth. Obviously there's see-through, so you can see the skull inside the figure, but you know, I repainted everything clearly. All right, it's not transparent anymore. Here's what the underside looks like. I know it's sloppy, but that's because in the process, like I said, I was thinking of gluing it on, but I just never did. But yeah, that's that round headpiece if you want to go with that. So check this out. So there's two different rhinos. It does not matter which one you use. It's they're both the same body type. Everything is just two completely different colors, right? Get a little closer. Obviously that one's missing that little shield part, but it doesn't matter. As you can see, that into this, all right? Kind of day and night difference. I would recommend, if you're going to make the Pretorian, use the rhino, only because the body type is bigger. So if you're looking for more of like height and stature accuracy, I guess you could see, or I guess you could say, if you have like Marines, any of the colonial Marines, or if you have Predators, if you want to size it right, it's definitely a good body type to go with for a lot of things, but definitely for a Pretorian, because it's got the size. If you try to use like a regular AVP warrior or a regular xenomorph warrior, the size is just not there. So if you want to get as close as you can, definitely I recommend using the rhino. And obviously here's the tail for the resurrection. That's the same tail that I ended up using, right? Same thing. I would recommend using the resurrection figure instead of an AVP one as well, just because the AVPs are really hard to come by and they're pretty expensive. And obviously, those are the exact hands I used. See? Same hands. All right, so super glue is gonna be your best friend when it comes to certain parts like I would say the tail, right? Because you're gonna have to drill. See, I didn't even close it right, but you're gonna have to drill into the torso of the Romulus if you're going to use, you know, my exact setup. Definitely gonna need super glue as much as you can. I would say get an even bigger one of these, and as well as paint, right? I'm not pimping out any brands, right? This is just what I go to like Michael's or Hobby Lobby. I just pick up whatever colors I think I'm gonna use. But if you want to, you could use these brands. It doesn't really matter. As far as I can tell, you know, I've been doing, I think I have almost 10 customs that I've done. Definitely got to do a video on just showing all of them, but doesn't matter what brand, as far as I can tell. These are the colors that are pretty much used, right? Get just like a good view of them real quick. Right. And yeah, so this is the easiest custom that I've made compared to the other ones. And maybe some of you be like, what do you mean easy? Well, it's not a lot of taking apart if you really think about it. Most of this piece right here is just rhino, right? The only things that changed were the hands. And obviously I scalped them a little bit, but that's just so the headpiece sits easier on the head. As you can see, it's all grinded down away. I know it ain't pretty, but I grinded it all down, made sure, oops, this little headpiece sits right. And I mean, it just did. I just popped it back on. Let's see if it wants to sit for me. I hope the air is not too loud. Oh well. But yeah, I just sat it there. I used some white silver. I couldn't find it right now, but I used some white silver on the front so it could give it more of a wet kind of shine look. There you go. I really wanted to give it that armored look because the Pretorian is supposed to be a far more formidable xenomorph, and I think these colors sit perfectly with it. Oh shoot, I also had a metallic green going on here, I almost forgot. But yeah, just practice. If you're nervous about messing up your first custom, you gotta understand this is all through experience. Like, I didn't have the patience anymore to wait for certain brands that make these for them to finally get around back to aliens. I got tired of waiting, so I just said, screw it, I'm gonna make my own then. And my first couple ones were a little funky, not gonna lie, but it builds that confidence, just taking that first step into just going for it. So you really just gotta, you know, put your best foot forward and practice. Just a lot of practice, a lot of painting. I used to use a lot of black wash. Now, black wash is just like a certain amount of water and a certain amount of black. I don't know the exact measurements. This is all, I was just guessing in the beginning. But for me, as of recently, I want to say in my last 3 or 4 customs, it's easier for me to just paint the entire figure black first. Black all the way through, right? Maybe like 2-3 coats if you have to, because there are certain parts that are really hard to get to. And it's just, for me, that's just what's been working. I mean, looks good on this figure, and this is exactly what I did. Painted it all black, everything all black first, and then the dry brushing. Now, I should be gearing up to make another custom soon besides the Grendel King, but in my, I want to say I'm going to do it in my, what video am I going to do it in? I might do it in my Mantis. I'll go more in depth on the techniques that I use when it comes to painting, because in my opinion, this is my favorite. I think I did pretty well on this one. I really like it. I did think about super gluing it, but it's just easier to move around and not worry about it falling apart and breaking. But I'll definitely go through more in-depth techniques on painting as I get more into making actual videos instead of just YouTube shorts. I just need more time because work is busy and I just wish I had more downtime. But as of right now, I mean, I got the time, so I figured I'd make this video to help some of you out. Called, if you want to make your own customs. But remember, doesn't matter what paint, definitely get your hands on either a wireless one, although those are a little more expensive. This one was cheaper, right? That one's just convenience. This one is like if you're gonna sit down for a long time. Pieces, drilling pieces. I don't even know what half of these do. I haven't used most of this, if I'm being honest. But yeah, when it comes to my painting, I'll definitely do more actual videos on just me painting. That way you can get a better idea and understanding on certain shades of gray, certain shades of gray. Could I say gray again? Certain shades of green that just really give it that small amount of detail, just makes it really pop more. But yeah, I hope this helped anybody out there more. Please give me more ideas. You know, if you have more specific questions on certain things, please let me know. That way I know how to approach these videos, because this is going to be my first actual video, not a YouTube short. But yeah, if you enjoyed this, go ahead and leave a like, I guess. Do whatever you want. Just make sure, put your best foot forward.